be as courteous as possible and have a one-on-one or a conversation to figure out who's doing this on this lot, because these are not actors and actresses that are in these videos and images that we know came from here.
You're saying there's images being uploaded or images being downloaded?
That the IP address from this lot
Hey everyone, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It is Monday, June 26th, 2023. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Listen, I was on the Washington County website for Arkansas, and I noticed yesterday morning that there was a call for service at the Duggar compound at 8:26 a.m. by the Washington County Sheriff's Office. So this is a follow-up call and a follow-up investigation. So something is going on at the Duggar town, and I want to dive into what this possibly could be about, what the records say, and what information we might have at this time. The information is starting to get out into the wider media. I broke the story yesterday over on my Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, make sure that you do at Without a Crystal Ball. All right, so let's dive into today's topic. Before we do, can you please do me a big favor and give this video a thumbs up? Also, please subscribe to my channel if you've not yet subscribed by clicking on the subscribe button down below. Make sure to click on the bell so you get notified of any time I go live or new content loads. If you have something to say, make sure to leave a comment and share this video with your friends. If you are wondering when I'll be back on camera, soon. I'm hoping next week. Things are starting to finally get better, so I'll be back soon. Voiceovers will be over. So yesterday, I was over on the Washington County website, and I was checking every once in a while. I'll just take a look at the calls for service to see if there's anything going on. This is kind of how I can get a pulse on if, you know, everything is, if there's anything happening with the Duggars or any of their associated friends. And I noticed that at 8:26 a.m., there was a call for service for a follow-up investigation. I noticed that at 8:26, there was a call for service at the compound. Now, the specific address that was being called or going to isn't an actual physical address or a mailing address at this compound. So it appears as though they were using sort of a fake address because they might not have wanted to alert people to the police going there. I'm not sure. But the call was in, and it came in at 8:26 a.m. They did a follow-up investigation. There isn't a case number. It doesn't appear as any arrests were made, but they were out there. So I was trying to go through the scanners, and I did not get any details from any scanners at all. What I do know is the Duggars own property on Arbor Acres, which is where they've lived, and they have about 20, so maybe more acres, maybe 40. They've got acreage on both sides of the street, and on the specific compound that they own, they have a lot of the kids living there. So, and a lot of those structures that are on this compound do not have addresses. So the main address is by the Duggars, is sort of like the main place where all the mail goes, and they have a gate for the entrance into their home. Then they also have this like structure that is, they rent out and lease out. It's got a vertical blinds company in there, and it also has got some like transportation companies that have leased it before. That is not the address that they visited. So I want to be clear that the property that's being leased, the businesses that are leased on that same property that the Duggars lease out, it was not that address. So it appears as though it was someone associated with the Duggar family that they visited, but it's not clear why, and it's not clear what the follow-up investigation would be. A couple things that we do know is that in 2021, there was an investigation into Jana Duggar. Jana Duggar actually was investigated after Mariella Duggar, the youngest daughter at the time of Anna and Josh, was found wandering the streets and was about a half a mile or a mile or 3/4 of a mile away from home, found in the middle of a road by a passerby. That passerby got the child and called the police. The police went over to the Duggars, assuming it might be a child associated with the Duggars. When they made contact with Jana, who was apparently the only adult home at the time, she denied knowing the child. Jana was then charged with child endangerment, and she was paid a fine, and she had some stipulations as a part of it, which included that there was a Department of Child and Family Services case as well. So there was a criminal case, and then there was this separate DCFS case. They don't always go hand in hand. So her case was closed after she paid her fine, and then this DCFS case could still be ongoing. We just don't know. One thing that we do know is that Jana had to move out of the house as a result, and she has now been living in this tiny little structure outside of the family home, right off of the courthouse, like the court, the basketball court that they have, because I don't believe she can live with Mariella because of the DCFS investigation. I believe because Anna and the kids moved into the house, Jana moved out. Beyond that, I don't know if this has anything to do with a follow-up related to Jana or not. My sources in the area weren't quite sure what this could mean. There's been lots of rumblings for a while that there's ongoing CPS cases. We really don't know. There could have been a multitude of things that have happened at this property, and so until we have any sort of call logs, we won't know unless the police release any investigation reports, which Without a Crystal Ball did place a Freedom of Information Act request to Washington County. We'll see if they'll respond. They, in the state of Arkansas, have up to 3 business days to respond. Now, the news is starting to hit the wider spectrum of like news outlets at this time. And what I did was I reached out to multiple sources. So I reached out to Amy Duggar King. She had no idea about anything going on. I sent a message to Dillard to see if he knew anything about this, and he, at the time, I don't believe, has seen my message to him, and he has not responded. But Amy said that she was not aware of anything going on there, and she had no idea. But Amy obviously doesn't speak to the family all that much. So police can go to a property for a variety of reasons for a follow-up investigation. It could have been for a welfare check. It could have been an investigation into a domestic disturbance. There could have been suspicious activity. There could have been a break-in. There could have been a lot of different things that got on. There could have been some kind of fight that broke out in the family. There could be some concerns that they're dealing with related to the children. It also could have to do with ongoing cases related to, or potential cases related to Josh Duggar. And it could potentially have to do with a potential ongoing investigation that is with Anna's kids related to the case against Jana. And I don't know if they've closed that case or not. I'm assuming it would be closed by now, but I don't know. So right now we're sort of in this like long hold. I've also reached out to multiple people that are connected to the Duggars, outside of just like the immediate family, any friends. So far, it's been silent from everyone. The Duggars have not said a word. I did notice that the day before, there was a call for service at a fictitious address, again on the road that is actually around the corner from the Duggars property. So the Duggars have property on Arbor Acres and a street named Barrington, and they also have friends on Barrington. And so there was a call the day before on Barrington at another fake address. So I don't know if it's associated with the call from the day before. And then they went to the Duggars house a lot across. If you don't know anything about what's going on in the Duggars compound, they have a lot of the kids living there. So right now, just to give you sort of an understanding of who lives on this compound, you have Jana Duggar that's living in a sort of small trailer right outside of right next door to the basketball court. You have Jason Duggar, who lives in a treehouse, which is not owner occupied, doesn't have anything from a, it's not physically like deemed a living residence. It doesn't have the zoning qualifications for him to live there. And it's also not taxable. The treehouse was literally built for the girls to play in when they were little, the youngest girls. And then you have a warehouse where Anna was previously living with Josh before his arrest. And then when the investigation happened to Jana and at the warehouse, it became clear that that warehouse was not owner occupied. They don't have an occupancy permit. So people are not supposed to be living in there. So Anna had to move out of it, and now she lives in the Duggar house. But in the meantime, James has made a makeshift apartment in this warehouse, and he lives there now. So you have James living in a warehouse that's, again, not owner. It's not zoned for anyone to live in, and Anna had to move out of it as a result. So then you also have Joe and Kendra that live in a log cabin that's been placed on the property that, again, was a home that was previously owned by Mary Duggar that literally just sits sort of off the road of where, behind that warehouse. That doesn't actually have a physical address, but Joe, Kendra, and their kids live there. So it could have been any one of those structures that they were visiting, or they could have been visiting the Duggars and they used a fake address so that the media wouldn't pay attention. Either way, there's something going on at the Duggars house. We will keep you updated if there's any more details. I've, again, got all of my sources poking around, trying to figure out what's going on, and I will keep you posted. But for now, there was a police activity at the Duggar home yesterday at 8:26 a.m. The Duggars, none of the Duggars have commented on the situation, so at this time it remains unknown. I will update you as soon as I learn more about what's potentially going on at the property. In terms of what's happening with Josh's appeal, the appeal was heard on February 16th, 2023. The appeals court has an indefinite amount of time to rule and decide what they're going to do in that case. And at this point, there has been no ruling on that case. If you remember, as a part of Josh's case as well, the kids were never seen by DCFS. They were never forensically evaluated. And so one of my only other hunches would be is perhaps, maybe, the kids are finally going to be evaluated. But again, I don't know. It's all speculation at this point. So Josh's appeal, we have not heard anything yet from that. He is still not allowed to have visitors. Anna is still living at home with the property. So is Jana. So is Jason. So is James. So are Joe and Kendra. So are Jeremiah and Hannah. There's a lot of kids that this could involve and a lot of adult children, or it could involve Michelle and Jim Bob. We'll have to wait and see. But for now, tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Bye, guys.